Welcome to Morph Girl. I just recently discovered this game and it's supposedly inspired by like the late 1990s and early 2000s Japanese horror movies. And it comes with 6 different endings, but I'm only going to be playing through one. Supposedly one ending will take about an hour. So I'm likely going to split this video over this week and next week. But anyway, I don't really know much more than that, so let's just head on in. Play. Morph Girl does not autosave. Okay. When visible, use the cogwheel icon to save, load, or quit. Fair enough. Remember to save frequently and prior to important events or decisions. You're not my supervisor. Load these save files should you wish to revisit them. Okay. Morphugaru. Ooh. Oh, we got 7 days. Alright, it's Monday. My name is Elana Pierce. Is that how I pronounce that? Elana? On Friday, it will have been a year since the death of my wife, Rebecca. Oh. Since then, my life has been one of tedium and monotonous routine. Oh ho, I see you know my life as well. I work an underpaid office job at a failing insurance company. I don't have any friends and I rarely leave the house. It's like she's speaking directly to me. And in just a few days, everything is going to change. I'm intrigued. Rebecca was a writer. Her reluctance to find real work put strain on both our finances and our relationship. Well, that's a bit harsh. During an argument over our accumulating debt, Rebecca suffered a seizure. She was quickly diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. Oh. She died 9 months later. Delicious instant coffee. Every day I watch her favorite movies, read her journals and her short stories. That's a little weird, but okay. What started out as a means to move on quickly became a routine that I couldn't escape. There is little to my life outside of what I have left of Rebecca. I very quickly began to underperform at work. Same. My boss was very understanding, but as the company started to lose money, co-workers began to resent me for the work I could not do. I was quickly relegated to my own office. Co-workers make hateful comments and drop hints about my supposed job security whenever I talk to them. I try not to talk to anybody. Same. tell me that I need to move on and get over Rebecca's death. I don't want to. I can't. So I won't. It's been 5 months since Rebecca was diagnosed. Breathing is becoming difficult for her. Movement is an almost Herculean task now. While her doctors say that we still have options, Rebecca is beginning to refuse further treatment. She wants to travel. I've clicked, but we're not proceeding. Oh, I have to click this, do I? Fair enough. She wants to travel the world before she dies. See all that she can while she can. She's giving up. I don't want her to. She's tired. Same. Too tired for optimism, too tired for treatment. She's tired of living. Ooh, this is hitting close to home. We argue constantly over the continuation of her treatment. She only has months left if she doesn't. She's getting visibly weaker with every passing day. She can barely walk, let alone travel the world. It would kill her. Rebecca knows all of this. She doesn't want to be miserable anymore. She wants the both of us to spend the rest of her life in some exotic country, to elope from her treatment with money we do not have. With time she doesn't have. Okay, choices. We can lie to Rebecca, or we can beg for treatment. I don't feel like lying, so I'm going to beg for treatment. I beg Rebecca to stop talking as though she's going to die. What starts as a heartfelt plea rapidly turns into me screaming and shouting at her. I tell her that we can't afford to travel, that she can hardly walk, that she's stupid for thinking we could do anything other than try to get her better. Rebecca quietly agrees to further treatment. It doesn't work. Rebecca only continues to worsen, and we are soon out of options. Rebecca can no longer walk or breathe by herself. She often cries, frequently wishing that we could be on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean. I feel guilty. Just a few days until the anniversary of Rebecca's death. I'm not ready for it. Ooh. Tuesday. Rebecca wants me to read some of her book, on account that I never have before. I've always condemned her choice to focus on writing as opposed to pursuing legitimate employment. Her writing has always been a source of major contention between us. She wants to know what I think of it. Before, that's no longer possible. I don't know what to say. She's desperate for me to read it, despite prior altercations. This makes me feel angry and a little bit guilty. Despite everything, she still insists that her writing career is important to her. The very pursuit that has jeopardized our home, financial security, and our marriage for years. I don't want to encourage her, but it's her passion. Of course I'll read it. I tell Rebecca that I will read it. It's a collection of short horror stories. I finished them all in just a few days. They're really, really good. Rebecca's university grades were relatively poor, but she was always highly regarded for her fiction writing. She's really talented. I feel guilty. Only now that she's dying have I even bothered to read any of her work. All these years I've kept Rebecca from her writing aspirations, and now she really may never reach them. When she asks if I'd read it, I'm too embarrassed, ashamed to admit any of this to her. I tell her that I've been too busy. She never asks again. This woman is certainly something. I often think that I would do anything to get Rebecca back. Would I? Oh. Wednesday. Well, that was a quick day. I like the shirt. I refuse to get on with my life, and yet I still expect it to change. Wait, where's the instant coffee? It's almost as though I were waiting for something. Hello? We all saw that blood, yes? Oh, just got a trophy. Finished the introduction. Oops. It's been 2 months since the diagnosis. Rebecca is exhausted from chemotherapy, sick of both the side effects and its administration. She doesn't like her doctor or any of her nurses. She hates the hospital and is very outspoken about how she doesn't want to be around real cancer patients. Rebecca doesn't want to feel unable. She's restless and very much in denial. It's Friday night. Rebecca wants to go out with her friends. I tell her that I don't think it's a good idea for her to be exerting herself so soon after therapy. I need this, she says. I'm scared that this will be too much for Rebecca, but I can't keep her from living her life. You know what? Let's just let her go. She's had a rough go of it. I tell Rebecca to have fun. I worry all night but refrain from calling. At around midnight, Rebecca comes home early. I pretend to be asleep. She's wheezing. In the morning, I ask Rebecca about her night. She says that it was a little too much for her, but she's glad that she went. Thank you. Aww. Thursday. Same. Okay. This just popped up, so I guess this is a important point. Dun, dun, dun. What is that? I think I see something by the bath plug. Is something leaking? It doesn't look like water. Should I go in? Absolutely. Aha, it's the blood, I told you. It's very thick in consistency, almost as though it's oozing out of the plumbing as opposed to dripping or leaking. Ew. It looks black, or maybe red. I don't know. I don't know what it could be, but it seems to be coming out of the shower head. Ew. Ew. Head and shoulders. Girl, you do not want to put your face up in that. Ew, it's on her face. Cooties. You got the ghost cooties. Yeah, same. I am not dealing with that bye. I don't know what was in the bath, but whatever it is, I need to forget about it. I can't be thinking about this right now. Not this week. I have some time before I leave for work. I can collect myself in the living room. I can pretend that everything is all right. Same. It isn't. Same. This is fine. Hello? We've got a menu. This is new and fancy. Notebook, photos, films, TV. What's on the telly?
Let me die. Let me die.
The brain that wouldn't die. Do we get to watch a TV show? I used to like this one. The film is about a mad scientist who manages to keep a woman's severed head alive for several days. The woman begs for him to let her die. Unsurprisingly, I no longer care for it. Yeah, that's a bit on the nose. Oh, okay. We don't get to watch the TV. Alright, let's check out our DVD collection. It's Rebecca's collection of horror movies. Well, some of them. Oh. Notebook. It's one of the notebooks Rebecca used to write her stories in. Oh my goodness gracious me. Settle in, guys. It's story time. Come with us, page 1. Typical. That's the best way Jane could have described the night. The moon was out, lighting the room in a dull familiar glow. The air was still, peaceful. It was the perfect conditions for sleeping. Many would agree with her, except the typical night had been disturbed. In the most atypical way Jane could have ever imagined. Jane squirmed in the corner of her bed. Whoops, I just heard a big sound. That actually kind of scared me. It wasn't in the game, it was in my house. She pressed herself against the headboard and the wall, hugging her knees. Most of all, she was trembling. It wasn't every night that you wake to find the expressionless child standing at the end of your bed after all. Maybe not for you. The main question on Jane's mind was why? Why her? Why tonight? Why a child? Jane never thought of herself as particularly special. Surely this only happened to those who warranted it, the weird and wonderful, not someone like her. Normal. That's the best way Jane could describe herself. Her name was Jane Audrey Phillips, named after her 2 grandmothers, naturally. She had brown shoulder-length hair. It was practical. Brown eyes like her father. She wasn't particularly tall, neither particularly short. She did well at school. It led to a job that paid her bills. She neither liked her job, nor did she dislike it. She had often thought that she was a very neutral person. She didn't think much of anything. Not that she wasn't happy. She was, in a calm, contented way. She got on with things. Much like herself, the day could also be described as normal. She awoke 3 minutes before her alarm as she usually did, ate a reluctant breakfast, and headed to work. Work was average. Papers needed filing, reports needed writing. Minimal conversation, and a sticky R key on her laptop. Returning home, leftovers for dinner, calling her mum. It was the routine she'd had for years. She went to bed on time and fell asleep in a timely manner. Nothing indicated anything odd should happen to her at all. And yet, there the child stood, at the end of her bed, in her room. It was a girl. It was wearing a white nightgown reminiscent of times far gone. She had long, unwavering dark hair. Its face was pale and eyes were dark. It made Jane uncomfortable to think of the strange spectre as a girl, so she didn't. A young girl wouldn't find herself in a stranger's room in the middle of the night. This was not a young girl. That was all Jane could figure out. The woman had already tried asking it for information, but it wouldn't speak. It didn't react at all. It just stared at her. There was a chill on her spine she desperately tried to ignore, almost as if someone was slowly dragging an icicle up her back. She pressed herself harder against the wall. The sensation didn't cease. Finally, the child parted its pale lips. Though this was once the outcome Jane was hoping for, somehow it only terrified her more. She shrunk further into the bed. She was shivering. "Come with us." Jane sucked in her breath as the child spoke. Its voice was small and soft. It sounded like a little girl. It almost left Jane less afraid. Almost. But the eyes were so dark, and the stare was so intense. Jane desperately wanted to look away, or close her eyes, but she daren't. The woman was terrified if she broke eye contact, the child would do something. She couldn't know what. The unease only grew. The child's face remained blank as it stared, though its head tilted to the side. It was almost cute. Only almost. Jane suddenly realized it was waiting for a response. The woman released the breath she didn't realize she was holding. "Where?" Her voice wobbled as she spoke. Her lip left trembling. The child shook its head a little, its dark hair shuffling over its chest. "Come with us." Ooh, got a trophy. Read Rebecca's stories. Alright, let's check out the photos. Nice little scary story interlude. Alright, photos of me and Rebecca on the day we moved in. We probably shouldn't have moved into a house with such expensive rent, but Rebecca wouldn't stop talking about kids. Though Rebecca was set on living in the city, she also thought we'd need the extra space. I think we would have been good parents. Wait, I didn't get to see the photos. Ripped off. Alright. Leave. We have checked everything. I'm digging this. The atmosphere is nice. I like it. Please finish report by end of tomorrow. Maybe you'd be happier working somewhere else. Passive-aggressive comments certainly aren't uncommon around here, but I don't think I can put this report off any longer. I'll do the bulk of the work tomorrow. Same. I can't do this right now. I think your bathtub is haunted. I used to take comfort in working here after Rebecca's death. I could pretend that she was at home waiting for me, just like before. A small part of me really believed that she would be. Maybe she is. You might want to check your drainage. Maybe. Maybe. Same. Nani? Bathtub's haunted. Time for a new house. Whatever was leaking has now completely filled the bath. It looks like blood. Ew. I need to call somebody over to fix this. I don't want to. I don't want to have to deal with any of this. Same. I can't deal with this. Not today. Not this week. Not anymore. Just slowly back out of the room. Ignore the problem. There is no problem. Oh, okay. Well, we have another save. Alright. Call, do not. Which do we think is going to lead to a more horror-ish ending? Ignoring it, right? Let's not call. Do not. You know what? That bathtub will fix itself. Out of sight, out of mind. This is fine. I can shower somewhere else. Oh. Oh Lord, she coming. Please cover yourself. Please. Oh my. Well, at least she put a towel on. Thank you. Rebecca always insisted on living in the city. It's expensive. We could only afford a small house. It's overpriced, ugly, and the landlord is a bitch. Oh. Were we to live anywhere else, this place would be a fraction of the rent we, crossed out, I, pay for it. I can get us somewhere bigger. Maybe then we could afford what Rebecca needs for recovery. I want to move. Making sure that Rebecca gets better as fast as possible is more important to me. But Rebecca insists that we stay. She says that the city is our home, that she doesn't want to leave our memories behind. It's a terrible place. We could save money. Alright, we have to convince Rebecca to move out of this crappy house, or let Rebecca stay. I mean, if she's about to pass away, it's the least we can do. I reluctantly let her stay. She insists that she'll recover without the extra equipment. We spend the evening reminiscing about the horrible state that the house was on the day we first moved in. Rebecca did a really good job on it. She's proud. We get an urgent call about test results that day. Rebecca plays our wedding music in the car as we drive to the hospital. She sings along very loudly. She's trying to be positive. She's trying to make me smile. It's not good news. This is making me sad. She's dying. It's terminal. I can't smile anymore.